If you're thinking about moving to another country, then you've probably noticed by now that one of the hardest parts is actually choosing a destination. So I'm going to save you a lot of time in this video, and I'm going to tell you what are the top 10 countries to live abroad, including to foreigners who are already living there. Now, before we get started, it's really important to acknowledge that the word expat is quite a charged word. It has a pretty negative connotation, and I get a lot of comments on my videos of people saying, oh, an expat is just a rich white person, and what's the difference between expat and immigrant? So for the purposes of this video, an expat is someone who is living long-term in a foreign country, and rest assured that the respondents of this survey were from 175 different countries, so you know that you're going to be getting a more objective overview of what the best and worst places are. So what I'll do here is give you the results of this survey and tell you what my perspective is on each one, having lived abroad for more than 20 years in 65 different countries. So let's jump right in. The average respondent for this survey was more than 46 years old, and the main motivation for the people that were moving abroad was for either lifestyle or their job or career. Number 10 on the list is the UAE, so the United Arab Emirates. And it actually went up a spot from last year. Last year it was number 11 on the list, and one of the major popular cities in the UAE is Abu Dhabi. Last year, Abu Dhabi placed 5th out of 49 cities in the index, and it offers the highest quality of life in the region. What people really like there is they say that it has the best infrastructure for cars in the world, and it's also rated among the top 3 for medical services. Actually, 88% are happy with the medical services there compared to 70% internationally. On top of that, 94% of people really value the personal safety that you can get there, as well as the political stability that can be so hard to come by in different regions of the world. Abu Dhabi also ranked really high for expat essentials, which is ease of paperwork and red tape and all of that. So if you've ever tried to get a visa or residency permit, then you know how hard it can be to work with the bureaucracy in different countries. But apparently in the UAE, it's not so bad. People also say that it is one of the easiest places to get accustomed to culturally, and that the transition into the daily life there is much easier than they expected. This city also offers great housing, bringing them into 8th place last year, and local expats also say that it's probably the easiest place in the world to get by without speaking a foreign language. So it actually ranked 1st for English speakers. The UAE really hasn't made it a secret that they are looking to bring in international tourists, business people, expats. So if you are looking for a place that is going to try to attract you to go there and offer a lot of incentives, then this could be a place to consider. Of course, there's also been a lot of criticism over the treatment of workers in places like Dubai. The weather can be really hot there, and people can say that it lacks culture. This is one of the places on the list that I haven't personally been to, but if you've been to the UAE, then definitely drop a comment below about what your experience was like. In 9th place on our list is the Philippines. Now, this is a country that actually dropped down a spot from last year's ranking. The biggest qualms that people have with the Philippines are their treatment of the environment. Also, the climate is a struggle for people, and travel and transportation. So if you've ever been to Manila, then you know what the traffic jams are like there. But if you're in some of the more remote areas of the Philippines, then you know that it can take a long time to get from point A to point B because the distances are so far. You need to fly or take multiple ferries. And so this can be something that a lot of expats reported struggling with. But what they really do like about the Philippines is the friendliness of the people. And that's something that I certainly value as well. I've talked about it in other videos here on my channel. So make sure to subscribe if you really like to learn about what it's like to live and work in other countries, and that's exactly what we talk about here. Now, the Philippines is one of those countries that is really easy to adapt to culturally, and people also find it very easy to make friends there. It ranks usually in the top 3 to 5 year after year on this index when it comes to those two factors, and 9 out of 10 expats say that it's really easy for them to make friends there. So if loneliness is a concern for you, then definitely consider the Philippines. It's also a great place if you're looking to save money, as the cost of living can be well under $1,000 per month. And there's also a lot of different categories for getting residency there or getting a retirement permit there. The healthcare kind of ranks in the middle, so it's not the best for that, but generally, I mean, people really like it there, and 9 out of 10 feel welcome there, which is much higher than the global average. One person says, "What I like the best about life in the Philippines are the friendly people and the relaxed lifestyle." So if you're looking for nice people, low cost of living, tropical climate, relaxed lifestyle, then Philippines is a place to consider. But there's also a few other places on this list that you might want to take a closer look at as well, including our next spot, which is Vietnam. Now, Vietnam jumped up a lot from number 14 last year to number 8. It ranks really high in leisure options and also safety and security. Now, Vietnam is known for having some of the most beautiful beaches in the world, so that is not surprising to me, but it does rank pretty low among expats when it comes to environment, climate, and healthcare. So there can be a lot of areas in Southeast Asia that rank pretty low on the environment. You'll see this in the Philippines, you'll see this in Thailand, you'll see this in Vietnam, you'll see this in Indonesia. I don't know what the exact problem is there, but if you've traveled to any of these places, you might have noticed more pollution, more trash on the beach, things like that. Although here in Miami, where I am right now, anytime I go to the beach, anytime I go out boating, I also see trash in the water. So it seems like that's a global problem. Like the Philippines, Vietnam also ranks really high for friendliness of the locals, and also really good for work-life balance if you're going to be looking for a job there. Although you might need to adjust to a lower salary, people do really like that balance of work and play. There's a lot of leisure activities there, and you can live there for less than $1,000 per month as well. So not the best place to find a job if you're looking to work abroad, but if you work remotely, I just featured Vietnam in my video on 10 of the cheapest places to live in the world for digital nomads. So you want to check out that video next. Another friendly country on our list in 7th place is Brazil, which actually jumped from 15th to 7th this year, so making moves, Brazil, and people really like it there also for the friendly people. Now, there is a conflict with the safety and security, so we've got a bit of a balance there, which is something that you can see a lot in Latin America, where you have really friendly people, but it also ranks really low for safety and security, and so that is definitely an issue in Brazil. I would say that my personal experience was exactly what this survey said. I found that there were very friendly people there, but I also felt insecure. I was afraid to walk around by myself during the day or at night. I felt like I had to take an Uber or a taxi everywhere. And I don't know if that was because it was actually dangerous where I was in places like Fortaleza and Salvador, or if it was just because everybody told me that it was dangerous and not to walk around by myself. But I definitely did get that feeling that I don't get other places where I just was unsure about walking around. And I did have friends that got mugged in Brazil in different cities, so it definitely is an issue. But when it comes to friendliness of the locals, I mean, Brazilians, I love you guys, they're so nice. And even I made friends with people everywhere I went, including at the mall. I'm still friends with a woman that I met at a boutique there. She was helping me find a dress. She had it altered overnight for me because I was flying out the next day, and we're still friends on WhatsApp, and we text, and she sends me pictures, and she even invited me to her family's Christmas and New Year's festivities. So I think the people of Brazil are really nice. It's a beautiful place, but you just really need to be selective when it comes to where in Brazil you're living so that you can make sure that you're feeling secure there. Nearly 9 out of 10 expats said that they feel welcome there, and almost 80% of people said that it was easy to adapt to the local culture. So if that sounds good to you, then keep Brazil on your list. No matter where you're traveling or living in the world, you need reliable, affordable access to your phone and data plan, and that's where today's sponsor, Holafly, comes in. With a travel eSIM from Holafly, you can enjoy high-speed data on your phone without worrying about expensive roaming charges or swapping out physical SIM cards. You can get your Holafly eSIM before you leave home, so you're connected automatically as soon as you arrive in your destination. Holafly has coverage in more than 200 destinations, like this plan in Italy, with data rates starting at less than €6 per day when you use my discount link below this video. With Holafly, you can customize your data plan to as many days as you need, or you can get an unlimited plan in a specific country or region like Europe, Asia, or Latin America, so you can access your maps, email, messages, and social media without worrying about running out of data. Plans also include hotspotting to other devices, and you can keep your existing WhatsApp number. It's easy to activate your eSIM with the QR code and instructions provided. You can buy a plan from directly within the app, and they have 24/7 customer support. Use the link below this video to save 5% on a data package for your next trip, or use the code Traveling with Kristin. And thanks again to Holafly for sponsoring this video. Sixth on our list is Thailand, which also ranked exactly the same last year. So very consistent. It ranks really high on leisure and also really high on healthcare, medical tourism. Of course, Thailand is one of the global capitals for medical tourism. So people really love it for that. They don't love it so much for environment, climate, and also safety and security, which I found pretty interesting. I consider Thailand a really peaceful place, but it didn't rank the highest for safety or working abroad with salary and career prospects. So that makes sense because Thailand tends to be a place that really appeals to digital nomads who are working remotely and earning an income offshore, or retirees who are living on their pensions and passive income. And it seems that Thailand really recognizes this as well. The government has created a lot of different options for people to stay there long term. You've got the long stay visas, you've got the Thai Elite visa, you have the new digital nomad visa, which was just launched this year. So if you're looking to work remotely, if you're looking to retire there, then Thailand can be a good option, but not the best place in the world if you are looking to get a job abroad. Last year, it also ranked #1 in the world when it comes to ease of finding affordable housing. And that was definitely my personal experience there as well. I found the 5-star hotels to be a lot more affordable than they are in other countries, but this also goes for the Philippines as well. If you want to stay in a W hotel, the Peninsula Hotel, you can find prices that are a fraction of the cost as the US or Europe, for example, or Canada. So I really appreciate the affordable housing in Thailand. And the good thing about Thailand is that there are so many places that you can live within the country. You really can't go wrong. I mean, everybody has their preferences. Like, I prefer Koh Samui to Phuket, for example. A lot of people like to live in Bangkok and then also in the northern area of Chiang Mai. So it's really up to you, but Thailand is one of those places where you can really experience the beauty of the Thai culture and the food no matter where you go, as well as those affordable housing prices. So it doesn't surprise me that Thailand has been consistently ranking in the top 10 for the best places for expats the past few years. Number 5 on our list is brand new to the top 10, Colombia. They jumped from 17th place last year to 5th this year. So very popular on the list among expats this year. If you live in Colombia, definitely let me know in the comments. I have been to Medellin, but Bogota is a city that I featured in a recent video about good places for digital nomads. The prices have gone up a bit in Medellin due to the attractiveness of that city for working remotely or for retiring there. Of course, Medellin had a reputation for being not so safe in in past decades, but it has gotten a bit more secure in recent years, kind of fluctuates going up and down, depends where you are in Medellin, but people really like it for the climate there. It is the city of eternal spring, and previously for the low cost of living, although housing in the more popular areas like Poblado has gotten a lot more expensive in recent years, and that has caused people to look farther afield and go to other places like Bogota and Cali. Cartagena also an option if you're looking for that Caribbean sunshine, but definitely a lot of options for you in Colombia. And they also have a digital nomad visa, they have a retiree visa, they have education visas, so there's a lot of different options you can get for how you want to stay there long term. Based on this study, actually Colombia jumped from 17th to 7th to 5th. So it's definitely trending upward in popularity, along with countries such as Panama, and actually took the place of Taiwan and Portugal last year. So yeah, if you're thinking of moving to Colombia, then I will link to this report below so you can get more information there. Number 4 on our list is a country that dropped 2 spots from last year, and that is Spain. Now, Spain is one of the countries that typically ranks at the top of best places to live, best places to retire indices, and a lot of that is because of the beautiful culture there, the quality of life, and also the food. It also comes with a moderate cost of living, so not the cheapest place in the world, but not the most expensive. And it says here that people feel really happy and at home in Spain. What they like the most about living there is the leisure and the culture. So no surprises there. It's really high for quality of life. Average when it comes to working abroad, Spain has had some problems with their economy, so not the best place to get a job perhaps, but if you're looking to retire or you're looking to work remotely, Spain has the non-lucrative visa. They have a digital nomad visa that is pretty generous, giving you up to 5 years to live there. And so it's definitely a place that attracts people of all ages. It says here that since the very first Expat Insider survey, Spain has always ranked in the top 10 when it comes to quality of life. So that is one of the factors that you can depend on if you're thinking about moving to Spain. And it also says here that nearly 90% of people are happy with the culture in Spain. So I guess a lot of people like to eat dinner very late. I don't know. So interestingly about Spain, it ranks the worst when it comes to working abroad, but it ranks really high when it comes to work-life balance. So really all circling back to leisure there. One Polish expat said, "I love the great nature, fantastic weather, and nice people in Spain." And if I think back and reflect on all the times I've been to Spain, from Barcelona to San Sebastian to Malaga, I would have to say the same. I think the climate is very nice there. You have people from all over Europe who are going to holiday in Spain. You've got that Mediterranean climate. And then you also have the islands. You have the Canary Islands to consider, Mallorca, Menorca, Ibiza. So Spain is probably one of my favorite countries in the world, and I know a lot of my friends and relocation clients are attracted to living there as well. So I do have a video on the cost of living in Spain that I will link below this one if you want to get more information on that. And it seems like the people who replied to this survey also agree, because it says that Spain ranks number 13 in the world when it comes to personal finance and cost of living, and nearly 70% of people say that they are happy with their cost of living there, compared to only 44% globally. So if you're looking for a place that kind of has it all, you know, has the food, has the culture, has the climate, has the good cost of living, then that's what puts Spain in the top 3 to 5 places on these lists every year. Now, the third country on this list I was actually pretty surprised to see, and that is Indonesia. I didn't realize that among 12,500 expats that this would rank number 3, but it's kind of similar to Thailand in that it ranks really high for friendliness of people, ease of settling in, and also having a welcoming culture. Now, Indonesia is a very big country with thousands of islands, so I do think that it depends where you go. I've only been to Bali and the surrounding islands, so I really haven't explored most of the country, but I can agree that for local friendliness and a welcoming culture, that's pretty much Bali. People also really like it for personal finance. not so much for work culture, but when it comes to cost of living and ease of finding affordable housing, then Indonesia ranks at the top. It's been about 8 years since I've been to Bali, but from what I can tell, the cost of living there remains accessible, below $1,000 per month. So I think that's what's attracting a lot of people there. There's also a lot of new visa options if you want to live in Indonesia long term that I talk about in detail in another video that I have on the best places to retire in the world. So if you want to know the differences between the different types of visas, then watch that one next. I will link to it below. But I think if you are going to Indonesia, you need to be really comfortable in a warm climate, and you'll need to do some research to find out exactly what is going to be the best place for you, not just the best island, but the best city, the best area. Yeah, definitely check out that video on the visa options if you want to get more into the specifics on how you can stay there long term and what the income requirements are for going there. Another thing that people might not like about Indonesia is the different time zone depending on which country you're moving from. So if you're going from Malaysia to Indonesia or Australia to Indonesia, it won't be as severe, but if you're moving from Europe or the Middle East, Africa, the US, South America over to Indonesia, it's definitely going to be a big change as far as just your location, time zone, and also the cost of being to go back and visit family and friends. So keep that in consideration as well. Number 2 on our list was actually number 1 last year, but it got kicked out of the top spot by the next country that we'll talk about in just a second. But this is Mexico, and Mexico has ranked in the top 5 of this survey in all 10 years that it's been in existence. So this is a country that really ranks highly on pretty much all of the parameters. When you're looking at friendliness of the people, it ranks number 1 or 2. Ease of settling in, ease of settling into the culture. In fact, really the only places that it doesn't rank at the top is in work satisfaction as well as safety and security. So this is another country where if you're going to work there, you do need to get a work permit, and potentially the work culture could be a challenge for you. The salary could be a challenge to meet your cost of living needs. And I think that's another reason why Mexico attracts so many long-term tourists, slow travelers, digital nomads, and also retirees. As it's a good place that people want to go for these other reasons, not necessarily to find a job abroad, but just to have an enjoyable lifestyle that's comfortable with nice people around and that doesn't cost too much. It's also one of those countries that offers a lot of diversity, so it appeals to people whether you want to be on the eastern side in those calm Caribbean beaches, if you want to be on the west coast with more of the surfing beaches and different climate, different atmosphere, or if you want to live in the city in Mexico City or in one of the many thousands of cities and towns across the country. You want to live in the interior. So it is a place that can have something for everyone. And what it says here is that people say specifically that finding friends is not a problem here. And it's one of the countries that you're just as likely to make friends with locals as you are with local foreigners. And so people really value that. It ranks second when it comes to having a support network there. And so yeah, pretty much across the board, ease of settling in, welcoming culture, local friendliness, finding friends. Mexico is ranking high on all of these. And then you add in the low cost of living and ease of finding housing. Places like Portugal, for example, which is not on this list today, spoiler alert, the housing prices have gotten so high that it's dropped out of the top 10 of these rankings. But in a place like Mexico, where you have so many options in such a big country, that's not an issue. I've traveled a lot through Mexico. It's actually the first country that I ever went to when I was 16, and we crossed over the border from San Diego into Tijuana. I still remember crossing over the bridge. I still remember seeing the worms and the tequila bottles, and I still remember the shock at seeing barefoot children selling gum and things like that on the street. So, Mexico has its pros and cons, has its challenges, as does any country, but people really like it there. But not as much as number 1 on our list today, and that, my friends, is Panama. Panama ranks the highest on this list when it comes to making friends in a foreign country. And then it's right there with Mexico when it comes to ease of settling in, culture, and welcoming people, and also local friendliness. But what people really love about Panama is being able to find affordable housing, which was a bit surprising to me because I don't see housing in Panama as being significantly less than some of the other countries on this list. But if you live in Panama and you agree or disagree, then make sure to comment below. Like Mexico, people didn't like it so much for being the best work environment, but it is a place that ranks really highly on leisure and quality of life. So again, this is Panama has been one of the top places for people to retire for many years. They've made it really easy. It's one of the easiest retirement visas to get. You can get permanent residency there, pretty straightforward. And they have, really good tax regimes for international residents. So this is one of the top 5 countries for ease of getting a visa. And then once you get there, Panama doesn't disappoint when it comes to the friendly people and just the local laid-back lifestyle. Now, personally, for me, Panama is not my favorite when it comes to climate, but I've only been to the more hot places like Bocas del Toro and Panama City. You can always go into Boquete or into some of the other areas in the mountains, a higher elevation, and get a better climate there. It is a place that speaking Spanish is very beneficial, but depending on where you're living, if you're really connected with an expat community, you can also get by without speaking Spanish. Panama is a very attractive destination if you're looking for a place to save money because 80% of expats living there are really satisfied with their financial situation. Just don't go there if you're looking for a job abroad because it actually ranks worst when it comes to the Working Abroad Index. Now, even though we talked about a lot of great destinations in this video, you still might be feeling a bit stuck and uncertain when it comes to where would be the best place for you to move. And if that's the case, then you can apply for some support for your move by clicking the link below this video. I have been helping people move overseas for the past 20 years, and I would be happy to help you as well. But if you're just looking for more specific information about some of the countries we talked about in this list, then watch these videos next, where I go into a lot more detail when it comes to cost of living, healthcare, taxes, and also the income requirements for getting a retirement visa or other permanent residency. So I will see you there, and make sure to subscribe if you're new.